From a howler that ended this legend's career to the craziest open goal miss of all time, these are the top 10 career-ruining misses in football. And at number 1, Fernando Torres was making the headlines for the biggest miss of 2011. That year was supposed to be Torres' big break. On deadline day in 2011, Torres completed a $50 million move to Liverpool. But if I'm being honest, his career never really kicked off after this, like everyone thought it would. But some of his fans still had hope that he'd hit it big at Chelsea, until the game against Manchester United months later. Torres was played in on goal by Ramirez, and with just the keeper to beat, he'd gone past him easily. And some of his teammates were already cheering for a goal, until Torres somehow missed. Damn! For a guy who was already getting damaged by the media every week, that miss went hard. In the end, Torres' career failed to kick off after that. And despite winning a couple of trophies with Chelsea, when it comes to the Premier League, everyone always remembers this miss. A disaster. To be fair to Torres, it was just a Premier League game, but for Asamoah Gyan, his miss was the chance of a lifetime. The 2010 World Cup, and Gyan and Ghana were riding a huge wave. They made it out of their group, and after beating the United States in the round of 16, Ghana only needed one more win to become the first African team to reach the semifinals of the World Cup. And with their quarterfinal match against Uruguay seconds away from a penalty shootout, they got the perfect chance. A corner got swung into the box, and Ghana's Dominic Adia rose to send his header goal-bound. But Suarez used his hand to clear it away, got caught by the ref, was sent off, and Ghana got a pen. This was it! All Gyan had to do was score, and Ghana would be in the last 4. So he took a deep breath, hit his run-up, and boom! It hit the crossbar and went out! To make it worse, Ghana lost the penalty shootout to Uruguay, and Gyan couldn't control himself. Till today, Gyan says that miss changed his life. He'd never forget it, but at least it didn't kill him, unlike the next dude. In the 1994 World Cup, Roberto Baggio was Italy's main man. He'd score 5 goals to help them get to the final, where they were facing a Brazil team stacked with talent. But the Italians had faith in their man Baggio to bring it home, because they knew all he needed was the right opportunity, and he got it minutes later. The match went into a penalty shootout, and with Brazil having scored all of their penalties, Italy needed to score one more to match that, and Baggio decided to step up to the task. Even though the stadium was packed, everyone held their breath. Baggio went up and took his kick, but instead of placing it top bins, he sent it to Pluto. Baggio's miss was so crazy that the Italian press immediately turned on him with a lot of insane words. Now, I can understand Baggio's pressure of missing from 12 yards, but Gonzalo Higuain? His was just damn awful. In the lead-up to the 2014 World Cup final, Gonzalo Higuain was having an okay tournament. He scored the winning goal in the quarterfinal against Belgium, and this was enough to keep him in the starting 11 for the final against Germany. But with all eyes on Messi, Higuain knew if he could stick around well enough, he'd be able to get a chance or two. And he was right. Minutes into the first half, Toni Kroos hit a horrible back pass, and with the ball bouncing over the German defense, Higuain was in. 1 versus the goalie in the biggest match of his life. All he had to do was score, and he'd become the first Argentine to bag a goal in the World Cup final since Maradona in 1986. But instead of becoming a national hero, he made himself become the most hated man in Argentina. He had all the time in the world and still flunked that. Argentina later lost in extra time, and Higuain knew that was it. Couple this with another crazy miss in 2016 for the national team, and Higuain's international career was over. What could have been? I used to think Higuain's miss was the biggest high-profile miss I'd ever seen, until I saw this one from Yakubu. Here's the deal. Nigeria was facing South Korea in the final group stage match of the 2010 World Cup. And with the tournament being played in South Africa, the Nigerian team was determined to give the African fans in the stadium the win as a send-off. More like everyone on the team except Yakubu. Because with South Korea leading 2-1, Yakubu found the perfect chance to equalize for his country, but he somehow missed. Yo, my grandma would score this with her eyes closed, and she's 87. Yakubu's a World Cup legend, man, for the wrong reasons. Watching this one again, it's hard to explain how he managed to miss from there. I haven't had this look on my face since Choupo-Moting's blunder in 2018. Aight, so Moting was playing for PSG when they faced Strasbourg in the French Ligue 1. Coming into this match, everyone expected them to win, but with 29 minutes gone, the scores were tied at 1-1 when PSG broke on the counter. Christopher Nkunku did all the work, timed his run, he was watching it go in and already turning to celebrate, until Choupo-Moting said no. Anelka and his miss from 2008. The 2008 Champions League final, Chelsea versus Manchester United. Both teams came into this one with a lot of hype, and a lot of talent too. Ronaldo's goal got cancelled out by Frank Lampard, so the match went into extra time and penalties. And with Didier Drogba getting sent off minutes earlier, Chelsea needed someone to become a hero in the shootout, and this was supposed to be Anelka's chance. All season, he'd been playing backup to Drogba at the club, but Chelsea was behind on the penalty count. Anelka knew Chelsea fans worldwide were counting on him to draw them level, but I guess not everyone's cut to becoming a hero. He missed, and Manchester United won on Chelsea's owner's turf. Safe to say, Anelka's career went downhill after that. He retired a few years later. Anelka missed the chance to become a club legend, just like Arjen Robben missed the chance to become a national hero 2 years later. The 2010 World Cup final, Spain versus the Netherlands, and it was crazy stuff. For Arjen Robben and his Dutch teammates, this was the chance they'd been waiting years for. See, the Dutch had gotten to the final on 2 separate occasions coming into this one, but they lost both, and Robben was determined to make sure they didn't become the first team to lose 3 World Cup finals when he beat the Spanish Highline and was in. Threw on goal, and he was freaking fast too, so they couldn't catch up to him. One-on-one with Casillas, all Robben needed to do was pick a spot, and it'll be over. But he missed! Robben's miss ultimately cost his team, because Andres Iniesta scored in extra time to win it for Spain. Unwanted history. Robben became a club legend at Bayern Munich, but when it comes to international football, that miss ruined everything, just like it did for Kolo Muani. 12 years after Robben's miss in 2022, and this time it was Kolo Muani in the same situation for France, the chance to win it. The score was 3-3 with Argentina, and with the ref about to hit the whistle for full time, Kolo Muani found the gold opportunity to win it for France. But on the big stage, he just couldn't do it. France lost on pens too. Kolo Muani himself said no matter what he does, he'd never forget that miss. Pretty sure it isn't just him, it's the whole world too. The guy whose international career ended with 1 kick. But this one comes in second on the list, and at number 1 is the craziest plot twist in football history. Watford was facing Leicester City in the 2013 Championship playoff semi-final, and the ending to this one was wild. Watford knew a win would take them to the final, but with seconds left to play, Leicester City's Anthony Knockaert got fouled in the box, and the ref gave a pen. All Knockaert had to do was score and send Leicester to the final instead of Watford. But he missed! It didn't end there, because seconds later, Knockaert saw firsthand just how crazy his miss turned out to be. Deeney scored, Watford got to the final, and Knockaert's Leicester career was over. Damn, what an ending! Almost as crazy as you saying you haven't hit that subscribe button to Goal Zone yet.